We're asked to write an equation for the linear function. So that means y equals mx plus b. That's the classic linear function that we've studied in math before. Satisfying the given conditions, then graph. Okay, so it just means we have to make a linear function out of this information. So look, this is just function notation. Remember, it's usually f of x, but we replaced x with -3. So this is like a point. It's saying at -3, the corresponding y value is 5. Same thing over here. At +6, the corresponding y value is -2. So we actually have enough information to graph this function. Okay, at -3, comma 5, we have a dot. And at 6, comma -2, we have a dot. So that's a rough sketch of what our graph should look like. Linear function means a straight line. Okay, but we can come up with the equation for that function by first finding the slope. Okay, that's the most important information between these 2 points. We got -2 minus 5, the difference in the y coordinates over the difference in the x coordinates, and you're just going to make sure you keep in the same order. These are my my x and y coordinates from the second point, my x and y coordinates from my first point. And look, it's subtract a -3 here because it's the difference in those coordinates. So in the numerator I got -7, the denominator I've got 9. So this thing has a slope of -9, so f of x, that's like our y, equals our m, plus a b that we don't know yet. So to find out b, you've got to plug in either of these 2 points. So I'll plug in -3 comma 5. So 5 is going to go in where my y values are supposed to go. And then -3 is going to go where my x values are supposed to go. And so we can multiply that -3 times this fraction, so we'll cross simplify. So -7/3 times -1, that makes +7/3. And then I'm trying to get b by itself, so I'm going to subtract that 7/3 from both sides. Okay, and if you're not sure what this is, take it off to the side. You get 5 minus 7/3. We got to change this to a fraction. So that's 5/1. To get common denominators, I can multiply the top and the bottom by 3. And so 15 minus 7, I should know what that is. I'm a math teacher. So we got 8/3 for b. Now we've got the complete equation. Just make sure to go put it back together. The function that represents the linear equation between these 2 points. The function that represents the linear function between these 2 points, in other words, is f of x equals -7/9x plus 8/3. Okay, and then you could test it out. Plug in the other data point. It should make a true statement if you've done it right. If you plug in 6 in here, then that's -14/3 plus 8/3. That makes -6/3, which is -2. So if I plug in this data point, I get a true statement. So that means we've got the right function. Okay, I'll do one more example here. Pause the video if you're trying to do this along with me, because there's a lot of steps that some students need extra practice on. So remember, these are data points. This is like at x equals 0, we got y equals 0. At x equals 2, we got y equals 3. So to find the slope, we'll find the difference in the y coordinates over the difference in the x coordinates. So this is a 3/2 slope. Okay? So that means we've got y equals 3/2x plus b. So to find out the b, this is the easier point to plug in. Plug in 0 in for y and 0 in for x. And then if you try to solve for b there, 3/2 times 0 is just 0. So b is also going to be 0. So we found out what our b is. So the equation is y equals 3/2 x plus 0. So this equation has a y-intercept of 0 because our b is 0. And it has a slope of 3/2. It means we count up 3 to the right 2 and we put a dot. Up 3 to the right 2, put a dot. So there's our graph.